so much for joining me today. I thought we would do a nice flow where we're going to start facing the long edge of the mat and move most of our class facing the long edge of the mat. So if you want to align the long edge of your mat to face your device that you are watching on, that'll make things just a little bit easier so you don't have to turn your neck constantly to look and see. At the very end, we'll face towards the top of our mats once again, but just for the kind of closing postures. For the most of it, we'll be facing, as I am, towards one long side of your mat. It doesn't matter which direction you go, as long as you feel comfortable and you can see. And we'll kind of do a nice build up back to getting down to the mat. So we'll start here seated, we'll lift all the way up, we'll do some standing poses, and then we'll circle back down to the floor. When you're ready, go ahead and come and take a comfortable seated position. If you want, you can sit onto a blanket, as I am doing. You can sit onto a block if that's more comfortable for you, or you can just sit flat on the floor. You do want to sit either cross-legged or with your knees tended in front of you so that you can move your torso around without feeling that you are going to fall over. So find a seat that allows that to happen for you, where you feel stable. Once you find that nice stable seat, go ahead and relax your shoulders. Maybe even close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. And as you sigh out, relax your shoulders away from your ears. Soften the space around your eyes. Feel your ears drooping down towards your shoulders. Feel your belly growing soft. Inhale. Now reach the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. And exhale, relax, a little bit soften. And we'll do this a few more times, just finding that balanced place between the effort of sitting straight and tall with the shoulders back and being a little bit relaxed in the shoulders and the belly. Maybe 3 more deep breaths here. Finding a place between effort, holding yourself upright, and ease, letting go of the larger muscle groups. This next inhale, blink your eyes open, reach your arms up over your head. Maybe you like to clasp your hands together, or even interlace your fingers and push your palms up to the sky, feeling a little stretch on the outside edges of the body. Deeply breathe in here. And as you breathe out, bring your left hand to the floor, bring your right arm up over your head. You can look up if that feels nice. Soft shoulders. Again, that balance between the effort of moving over to the side, of finding the stretch of reaching your right hand, and ease, a little softness, so this feels really good to your body. Inhale, come back to the center line, reach both hands up again. Again, you'll stay here for a breath or two. You're welcome to lace your fingers or push your palms together, see what feels good. Reach up for a deep breath. And then gently fold over to the right, moving the left arm overhead. Now with each inhale, you can think about finding the effort that's needed to feel the pose. And with each exhale, you can think about getting a little bit relaxed, making this pose a place where you might like to stay. And then inhale, you're going to come back up to the center, reach both palms up, and then exhale, bring your hands down onto your thighs somewhere. Inhale, bring the center of your chest forward, bring your shoulder blades together, squeeze them onto the back, maybe even a little look up for your cow pose. And then as you exhale, round the spine back, let your shoulders almost hunch forward for your cat pose. Inhale, cat, and exhale, cat. Working a few more times here. Maybe you'd like to add some arms onto this, really getting a little more into the shoulders. You can open your arms up like big cactuses, squeezing the shoulder blades even a little more together. And then you can bring the palms, the forearms, the elbows together, now separating the shoulders from the back. Couple more like this. This is your last set. Draw everything in. And then as you inhale again, reach your arms up over your head. As you exhale, you're going to bring your hands down in front of you and find a little bit of a forward fold. If you need to adjust your seat, don't hesitate in folding forward while you're cross-legged. It doesn't feel so good. You can also do soles of the feet together or stretch your legs out in front of you. So find a place where, again, you feel some stretch maybe in your hips and your back. But again, it's that place where it would feel pretty good to stay here. That would be nice. You can reach your fingertips far out in front of you, or you can use your hands or your forearms to rest onto. With each inhale, think about finding the stretch, finding the work of the pose again. And each exhale, a little bit of softness, sinking in. As you're ready, you're going to walk your fingertips back in towards you. If you're sitting cross-legged, just note what foot is in front for a moment. You're going to stay there for another second. You're going to take your hands down behind you. Squeeze your shoulder blades again together. Lift the center of your chest, just a little back bend. Maybe the gaze comes up. Allow your hips to drift slightly forward. And then go ahead and release. Switch the crossing of the legs, or you can just switch up the seat that you're in if you're not sitting cross-legged. As you inhale, draw the center of your chest forward. Option to add those cactus arms. And then as you exhale, roll back. Pull the belly towards the spine. Just 2 more sets here. And you can really rock your hips forward as you inhale and pull them back as you exhale. So you're not just warming up the spine, you're also warming up the hip socket. And as you inhale, reach straight up. And as you exhale, fold forward. And you find that place where you feel the stretch. But it's good. It's kind. It's nice for your body. And this idea of balancing the effort and the ease is from the Yoga Sutras, a little book of truths about yoga. And it is translated from Sanskrit. The Sanskrit is Stiram Sukham Asanam, steady, sweet pose. Something that is steady and strong. Something that involves a little bit of effort to hold on to. And something that is sweet, easy, gentle. Balance between those 2 things is what makes your asana, your pose. If you're all one thing or all the other thing, you're either working really hard and you get totally worn out. If you're all effort, walking your fingertips back in towards you, coming back to seated, you're going to go back to that back bend. And if you do all just gentle ease, you just become a pile of mush on the floor. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, lift the center of your chest. Take a deep breath here. And then relax the belly down, roll the shoulders forward. Go ahead and bring yourself to standing. And you're going to stand facing, again, the long edge of your mat, right in the middle of your mat. If you have a prop, you can just move it out to the side here. And then keep your toes spread out nice and wide here as you come to standing. Take a moment to settle into the soles of your feet. Maybe wiggle around a little bit. Just get comfy. Maybe you close your eyes or you just find a gaze point on the floor in front of you. Take a deep breath in. Grow tall. relax a little bit. With the next deep breath in, open your eyes, bring your arms up over your head. And with the deep breath out, draw the hands down through the center line, fold forward, forearms to thighs, hands to shins. You can come all the way to the floor if you feel ready with your fingertips. Take a couple deep breaths here. Keep your knees soft. Stick your bum out behind you a little bit. And an inhale, bring your hands to your legs somewhere and find halfway lift. And as you exhale, release. Press into the heels of your feet. Inhale. One smooth breath lifts you all the way up. You could have heavy arms, or the arms could come out and up. As you exhale, bring your hands in front of your heart. Inhale, bring your arms overhead. Press the palms of the hands together. Exhale, fold forward, moving a little bit more quickly now. Inhale, you find halfway lift. Shrug your shoulders back. Lift your belly button. Reach the crown of your head forward. Exhale to release. Softness in the knees. Press into the heels. Inhale. One smooth breath takes you all the way up. And we're just going to keep moving. Press the palms of the hands together. Fold all the way forward as you exhale. Inhale. Halfway lift. Exhale. Soften. Inhale. We're all the way up to the sky. This time, exhale, hands come in front of the heart. Bend your knees, sit back into an imaginary chair, Utkatasana. Take a look down, make sure you can see your knees, or see your toes beyond your knees. You can always see your knees generally here. Shrug your shoulders a little bit back. Lift your belly and just hold here. You want to feel your thighs start to work. You want to feel the effort of sitting back in this position. You want to feel the ease in your shoulders. You can roll them a few times. You can take your arms to a cactus, your hands onto your thighs for support. If you feel quite strong here and you want a little more, you can take your arms from your shoulders or up by your ears. Another couple of breaths. If it becomes too easy, add on some a little deeper. If you don't feel the work. If it becomes too effortful, back off a little bit, a little higher. Maybe bring your arms down. Find your balance point this morning. One more deep breath. Inhale where you are. And then as you exhale, fold forward, drape yourself over your thighs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to release. As you inhale, smooth breath takes you all the way up to the sky. Exhale, hands down in front of the heart. Inhale, arms come overhead. Exhale, hands to the heart, sit back into that imaginary chair. Find a little bit of lift in your belly button, shoulders roll back, balance. Balance is tricky. It's not always the same. It's not like there's just this one point that is magically balance. It depends. How tired are you this morning? What did you do yesterday? What did you do yesteryear? How warm is it where you are? When did you last eat? There are so many factors that come into play. So it's always an exploration. It's always a little bit different. Last deep breath. You inhale here. And then as you exhale, you fold. You kind of let go and keep your knees bent as you drape forward. So you're just releasing your spine over your thighs. And then as you inhale, maybe you straighten your legs. As you come into that halfway lift, you start to use your belly muscles. Exhale to release. We're going to do that one more time. So inhale, roll all the way up to the sky. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, palms in front of the heart, at least to begin with. You can stay there. You can add any variation in the arms. And assess here. See what you need to do to find balance. If you feel your thighs too much, maybe you straighten your legs a little bit and you just have a little crook. If you don't feel your thighs at all, maybe you sit back really quite deep, and if you do that, you want to keep sitting back into that chair so you can still see your toes. Maybe your low back feels a little tender, so you rest your hands on your thighs, or you lean a little more forwards as opposed to lifting your chest, which brings a lot of work into your lower back muscles. So if you're feeling that, it's not necessarily a bad thing to feel your lower back muscles here. They are working really hard, but if you feel too much, you can always lean a little bit. Put more work in your thighs. Where's your balance point? Where do you feel effort? Maybe a little heat starting to build. But you're not clenching up. You're not giving 110%. There's no need for that. You can give, let's say, 75%. Save some. Take another deep breath. Inhale here. And then as you exhale, let it all go. Drape yourself forward. Inhale, find halfway lift. This time we're going to dangle forward for a few more breaths, so keep your knees soft. Come back towards the floor. If you like, you could take your hands into the opposite elbow crease. Maybe you like to sway a little bit from side to side. And welcome to nod and shake your head. Yes, no. Keeping those knees soft. Release your arms on an inhale, roll yourself all the way back up. And on your exhale, bring your hands in front of your heart. As you inhale, start to step your feet wide, wider than the distance of your own hips. We're going to go into a star shape pose, and then we'll do some warrior two poses. So you can think about warrior two distance between your feet. For now, your feet are facing more or less towards the long edge of the mat. Open your arms out to the sides as you inhale. And then as you exhale, bring your left hand down, bring your right arm up over your head. Find that side bend again. Just a few breaths here. Lift through the arches of your feet. And then inhale back to the center line. And exhale, go over to the right, left arm overhead. Soften your shoulders a little bit. Find the reach. Find the counter reach. That's the softening of your shoulder or your jaw. Inhale back to the center line. As you exhale, fold forward, fingertips can come to the floor. You can use a prop underneath your hands here. Feel free to adjust the angle of your feet so your knees still feel good, Reach the crown of your head forward. It's like a halfway lift here as you inhale. And then as you exhale, soften towards the floor a little bit. You can come all the way down if it feels good looking back behind you. If that feels comfortable and you want a little more, you can reach around and hold on to your ankles. Taking your elbows a little wide. And start to feel perhaps the stretch in your thighs, your hamstrings. Where are you going? To a place where you feel enough, but you're also able to think about other things. It's not 100% of your focus because your hamstrings are so tight that it's all you can think about. Last deep breath. And then you place your fingertips underneath your nose. Feel free to use a prop, lift up about halfway. You're going to take your toes out and your heels in and drop your buns back for a little goddess pose. Walk your hands onto your thighs, roll your shoulders back, and take the time to adjust the distance between your feet and the angle of your feet so your knees are tracking over the center 3 toes. So you're not doing this or the opposite. You want to feel that your feet and your knees are facing the same direction, and it doesn't matter how open or closed you are as long as you feel strong and stable. When you've got that, roll your shoulders back a little bit, bring the center of your chest forward. You could open up your arms like we're doing in the seated position. And then as you exhale, round a little forward, maybe drawing the arms together. You can also do this with the hands on the thighs if this feels a little unstable. Inhaling to open and exhaling to round. You're just going to do one more of each. And then you're gonna inhale, reach up through the crown of your head. Maybe you take your arms out to the sides. We're gonna try a little bit of a hold here. Find the effort. If you don't feel effort, go a little deeper. I definitely feel some effort. Now that I feel the effort, I try to find the ease. Are my shoulders relaxed? Am I smiling or am I, I should be smiling. Or at least relaxing my face. Can you feel the heat in your thighs? Or maybe a little softness in your belly. Another deep breath here. And then press into the heels of your feet. Lift all the way up, arms come overhead. You're gonna turn your right foot to face towards the long edge of your mat. Turn your left foot to face to the short edge of your mat. Bend your left knee and open your arms out to the sides. Warrior two. Feel free to adjust here. The front foot could come further forward or further back. Same thing with the back foot. I like to move the back foot because it feels more stable. Heel toeing forward or back. You can adjust the distance so that you feel, again, strong and stable, and your front knee is tracking over the middle three toes, and your knee is stacked above your ankle. Look forward over your front fingertips. Those are your left fingertips on this side. Reach, and then squeeze your inner thighs together. Lift the arches of your feet. Find the effort. And then find a little ease. Maybe that involves just rotating your palms up. Sometimes that feels so much easier in the shoulders. Or bringing your hands to your hips. Just thinking about taking the collarbones out to the edges of the room. Got a couple more breaths here. Find the balance. If you need to take a break, straightening your front leg, you do so. If you need to adjust angle of your feet, distance between them, you do so. You have the time to kind of contemplate where you need to be this morning. Inhale here. As you exhale, you're going to straighten your front leg a little bit. Take your hips back, reach your left fingertips forward, and fold towards that left leg, hand to thigh. Hand to calf. You can reach your hand to a prop or the floor. Take your right arm up to the sky for a little triangle action. And remember, in triangle, it's not the straightness of your front leg that's important. It's more that you are stacking your top shoulder on top of your bottom shoulder, and you're keeping your torso really open towards the long edge of your mat. You're not folding towards the floor. We'll do that in a moment. You're working to stay lifted in this position. If your knee is almost over your ankle, that's totally fine. As long as you're open. You're just working towards the straightness of the leg that works for you this morning, where you feel the effort of doing so. Take another deep, full breath here. Gaze point that feels good to you. Inhale where you are. As you exhale, you're going to take this top arm and fold down towards the floor. You can already be bending into your left knee. Turn your right foot to face straight forward and back. Your right hand is on the floor on a block, and you're going to twist towards your left. Lunge twist. If you like, you can drop your back knee to the floor, or you can keep it lifted. You see what feels good to your body this morning. Where do you feel the effort of twisting the spine? Now you're working to take your body open to the opposite side of the room. So it's a little more difficult to open your chest back towards the opposite long edge of your mat, taking your left shoulder now and working to stack it on top of your right shoulder. Lifting your hips a little bit up towards the ceiling. Inhale here. And then as you exhale, you're going to fold down towards the floor. If you brought your back knee to the floor, tuck your back toe, lift your back knee so we're all in this high lunge together. And then step your right foot, your back foot, just a little bit closer, maybe 6-8 inches in. And rotate your back heel to the floor. We're going to go for a pyramid pose. If the floor here feels like it is quite far away and this is already quite difficult, walk your hands up onto your thigh or onto supports. And then you can begin to straighten your front leg, your left leg. pull your left hip back for this pyramid pose. You can stay quite lifted here. In fact, if you wanted to work on your core muscles, you could lift your belly button and even take your hands out behind you like airplane wings. So you're stretching the legs and working the muscles of the back and the belly. If you want to go a little more ease and stretch, you could rest your hands down onto the leg, onto props, onto the floor, and find your balance point. And it's important to remember that the balance point isn't just that the pose itself, each individual pose is totally balanced. It's like 50% effort or 50% ease in each pose. But the balance point, again, changes with how you feel. So some days we feel like balance is very relaxing. To be balanced, we need to lie on the floor. And other days to feel balanced, we need to move around and burn some energy. So if you are in a state today that is unbalanced, your poses might help you to come back to balance. If you feel really keyed up, maybe you need to keep moving to burn some of that energy, and that helps you find balance. If you're quite fatigued, maybe you just need to melt a little bit. Regain some energy, help yourself find balance. Got another deep breath here. And now comes the hard part, is what we're gonna do is bend into our left knee. And by this point, your left leg might be feeling quite tired, but we're gonna try and go for a little bit of balance. So walk your fingertips a little bit in front of your left leg. Take your back heel, lift it up, turn it straight forward and back. And you're gonna rock your weight forward to your left foot as you lift your right leg behind you. You can stay quite supported here as you work to lift that right hip. Or you could lift your fingertips up. You could float your arms if you feel fiery. Lift the pit of your belly and reach the crown of your head forward. And don't worry if you wobble. You're supposed to in this position because we've just done a whole bunch of work on that left leg, and now I'm making you stand on it for a considerable period of time. So if your right hip needs to float a little more up to keep you balanced, or it kind of dips towards the floor, that's totally fine. Take another breath. And then you're gonna see if you can curl the right foot next to the left foot, bend the knees. Utkatasana, maybe you can lift up. Oh my goodness, that left hip is burning. Maybe you sit a little deeper, take a breath here. And then inhale, press into both feet, lift all the way up to the ceiling as you inhale. As you exhale, fold all the way forward and just dangle here at the front of your mat for a few breaths. Knees soft, head heavy. If you like to get a little more into your shoulders, you could take your arms behind your back and interlace your fingers. As you inhale, find a halfway lift. And then as you exhale, release. Let's keep your knees soft. Inhale, roll all the way up to the sky. Exhale, hands come in front of the heart. Close your eyes or soften your gaze and just take a few moments to feel the imbalance in your body. We've worked one side, we've worked the left side. How does it feel different from the right side? It feels awkward, right? You feel unfinished. Got to finish up and to that right side so you can come back to balance. When you're ready, blink your eyes open and walk again to the long edge of your mat. You're standing right in the middle. Your toes are spread nice and wide. Relax your shoulders, relax your jaw. And then inhale, bring your arms overhead. As you exhale, bend your knees, come to your Utkatasana. We're gonna do things a little bit differently this side, but still a little warm. Press into the heels of your feet, bring your weight to your right foot, lift your left heel. And then on inhale, you're gonna tap your left foot out to the left and bring it back in. Out to the left and bring it back in. And as you do that, you wanna keep your right hip stable so it's not moving out to the side. It's working to stay exactly where it is. Try a few more if you need to. If you already feel incredibly effortful here, can stop. Look down, make sure you can see your toes. Last one. Plant the left foot down. We're gonna move directly over to the right. So suck your left hip in, lift your right heel, over to the right, and tap back in. You can have your hands on your hips, you can do hands to heart, whatever helps you to feel balanced here. Keep that left hip as stable as you can. The more you think about it, the harder it is, and you keep thinking it's moving. Just do the best that you can do today. Couple more if it feels good. Remember, you can stop whenever you want to. You want to feel the effort. You want to feel the thigh. Feel the glutes. Last one. You come back in. You press both feet down. Maybe you lift the center of your chest. Maybe you add some arms. Inhale here. Exhale, fold towards the floor. Let go. Inhale, halfway lift. We're going to go a little bit differently into the side as you exhale, fold forward, plant your fingertips to the floor, your hands to props, and heel toe your feet out wide. Adjust the angle of your feet. We're going directly to that forward fold. So as you exhale, you can come further towards the floor if you like. Again, you can take your hands behind your back if you want, interlacing your fingers. Go for that extra shoulder stretch. You could, again, hold your ankles or simply leave your hands to support you underneath your shoulders or your nose. Feel the nice stretch that you get when you make a little bit of effort. But also remember that nice is part of the equation. There's a little bit of ease, a little bit of sweetness. When you're ready, you release your fingertips underneath your nose. Lift up about halfway, toes out, heels in. You're coming to your squat. So take a moment as you walk your hands up to just adjust. You want to feel strong and stable here. Roll your shoulders back. Leave your hands on your thighs. This time, inhale, reach up through the crown of your head. As you exhale, lift your right shoulder towards your left knee. Inhale, come to the center. Exhale, left shoulder to right knee. And we'll do a couple more to each side. One more in each direction. And then come back to the center line. Roll your shoulders back. You can keep your hands on your thighs. You can bring your hands to your heart or your arms out to your sides. Feel the fire. When you feel enough fire, go ahead and stop. If you don't feel fiery enough yet, you don't feel hot, you can keep going. You could lower down a little bit if you want. Don't hesitate to move around if that's what feels right. If you still need fire, take another deep breath. And when you're ready, push into your heels, straighten your legs. Going to the other side. The right foot turns to the short edge of the mat. The left foot turns to the long edge of the mat. Bend your right knee. Adjust. Right knee is over right ankle. The left foot is facing the long edge of the mat, maybe slightly towards the front if that feels better for your hips. Open your arms. Find your warrior two position. Gaze is forward over the front fingertips if you can. Squeeze the inner thighs together. And then soften. Shoulders relax. What do you need to do to find ease in this position? The longer we work, the more kind of fire we start to find. You start to find that internal heat in your body. And the balance might change a little bit. Maybe you breathe a little deeper to help you find that ease. You remind yourself to breathe a little deeper. Lifting through the arches of your feet. Relax. Relax your shoulders. One more breath if you can. Remember, you can always take a break in any of these positions. And then finally straighten that leg. Push the hips a little back. You're folding to your triangle. Right hand to thigh or calf. You can reach towards the ankle or the floor or any kind of prop here. Left arm comes up towards the sky. And think again more about keeping the chest open. So the heart is facing towards the long edge of your mat. The center of the chest is facing the long edge of the mat. The shoulders are stacking one on top of the other. If you need to bend your knee, you bend your knee. Not all of our hamstrings are willing to accommodate straightness in the front leg, especially in the morning. Look up. If it feels good, does that feel nice in your neck, or does that just involve so much effort of holding yourself up here that you lose the ease? Maybe the ease is that you look down. Or you bring your hand to your hip. Experiment. Customize. This is your practice. And it's your body. You are in charge of your body and what you do with your body. Everything I say is just a suggestion. You have the ultimate veto. And take another breath. And then you're going to fold towards the floor. The left hand starts to come down. You bend into the right knee. Turn the left foot straight forward and back. So you're facing towards the back of your mat. If, like me, your back foot feels really far away, you can always step it in a little bit. Your left hand will plant down. Feel free to go for a prop or all the way to the floor. And you twist to your right. And you shrug your shoulders back. And you can do this high lunge variation, or you might find that, oh, the low lunge variation is so nice today. Where do I feel that balance in my own body? Remember, it's more important to think about turning towards the long edge of the mat, opening the heart, opening the center of the chest, feeling the kind of stretch that happens in the hips and the lower back as you do that is like a bonus. Deep breaths here. Maybe if your knee is lifted, you can lift your hips a little higher up towards the ceiling. Inhale. And then as you exhale, fold towards the floor. Now, take a look back at your back foot. You might like to, again, step it in a little bit before you rotate that left heel to the floor for your pyramid. And if you're here and your knee is bent and the floor is like, oh, this feels terrible, it's so far away, come up. Bring your hands to your thigh or your hands to props. And then only straighten the right leg, just as in the triangle, as much as you need to feel effort in the thigh. Right hip comes back, head comes forward. You can stay upright and work on your core, lifting your belly button, reaching the crown of your head forward. Excellent for your back muscles. Maybe you even reach the arms out. Maybe that effort feels really good and that makes you feel balanced today. Or maybe you're like, nah, I want stretchiness. I just want to fold. I want to relax. I want to put my hands on some supports. Listen to what your body is telling you. And I know I say that constantly. Listen to what your body is telling you. So you would think that I would be some kind of, guru at listening to my own body. But I say it constantly because we all forget. We forget to listen to our bodies all the time. We put our bodies into all of these compromising positions. We ask of our bodies so very much every single day. And this time on your yoga mat is the time for your body to ask of you, to tell you what it needs to best support you. Listen, accommodate, adjust. And then that extra little bit of fun, of wobble, of challenge. We'll go for our balance. When you're ready, bend your right knee over your right ankle. Lift your back heel, turn your back foot straight forward and back. You can walk your fingertips forward. And I'm just gonna step back because I think I might run into the wall here. So rock your fingertips forward. Rock your weight to your right foot, and maybe you can get a little bit of lift off. And don't worry if the lift off that you get is like a half of a second and then you come right back down to the mat. We've just been working our standing leg a lot. So this is not meant to be perfection. This is meant to make you wobble madly. Maybe you get up off of your fingertips and maybe you stretch out. Maybe you feel so much fire in your standing leg. You're like, oh my gosh, I don't know how long I can do this. Maybe you've got a few more breaths. Maybe you don't. Listen to your body. You can always curl this back foot in and come to your forward fold right away. If you've got another breath, lift your belly, reach the crown of your head forward and float. And then you curl that left foot in. And you place the left foot on the floor. Oh my gosh, maybe a Utkatasana. Sitting back, lifting the center of the chest as you inhale. And then as you exhale, fold all the way forward. And we just dangle here for a few breaths. Feel free to move around. I like to kind of sway my hips a little bit and bend and straighten my legs. You could lift and lower your feet almost like a little downward dog. And then pressing into your heels, softening your knees. Inhale, roll all the way up to the sky. And as you exhale, bring your hands in front of your heart. Soft gaze, closed eyes. Take a few deep breaths here. As you're ready, blink your eyes open. Come back to the center of your mat. Toes are out, heels are in. We're gonna come down through a squat. Hips are, or feet, excuse me, are a little bit wider than the distance of your hips. Bring your hands in front of your heart as you inhale. And then as you exhale, bend your knees, find a squat. It can be a horse squat. Maybe you even release your hands to your thighs. Kind of just stick your buns out behind you. Maybe you go for spider and you fold a little further forward, hands to the floor, hands to props as you reach your tailbone behind you. That's really nice for the thighs. Maybe you prefer Malasana and you go all the way down with the hips between the heels as you find your squat. Maybe even hands in front of the heart. Take a few breaths. And then you're going to release yourself to seated in any way that works for you. If it feels good to sit back, go for it. That may not be for your hips and heels. You might have to go over to the side. From here, you are going to stretch your legs out in front of you. And you can give them a little wiggle. You can give them a little shake. You're welcome to sit up onto your blanket here or any other prop. We're gonna come into a little shoelace pose. I don't know about you, but I feel that I really worked my glutes and my thighs. So we're gonna stretch that out a little bit. Take your right foot to the outside of your left leg. And just assess how that feels. If just crossing over feels like a lot of stretch, what we're doing is starting to pull here on the IT band and some of the muscle attachments will really open up the glutes. You might simply stay here. If you want a little more, you can take your right foot out to the left, stacking your right knee down on top of your left knee. And you might decide, okay, that feels pretty good. A little intense, you might lean back. A little more effort, you might want to come forward. If you come forward and there's still not enough effort to help you feel a stretch, you might need to fold your bottom foot in and go for cow face or Gomukhasana, bringing the feet out to the sides of the hips. Maybe folding forward or back from there, and you find again your balance point. If you want, you can add some arms. Taking your right arm on top of your left arm, you could pull the right arm across the body, or you could bring the backs or the fronts of the hands together. And even here you could lean a little forward if you want. Or maybe not. That feels like a little much today. And shoulders are totally optional if you want to. There's a little combination of cow face and eagle arms here. This is not the traditional variation. Traditional variation would have us take our arms behind our backs. But we're just opening up the whole back of the body here. You're opening up the hips and the glutes. You're opening up the shoulder blades away from the back if you have the arms in position here. Take another deep breath here. And then if you have the arms laced up, release the arms. You can use the hands to unwind the legs. I like to even lean a little back so I have more space to unwind my legs. Place the soles of your feet on the floor and maybe take some windshield wipers before we go to the other side, knees from side to side. And then when you're ready, you're going to stretch your legs again out in front of you. We'll go over to the other side. So the left foot comes to the outside of the right leg. And if that feels like enough of a stretch, which some days, this is just lovely. You can really feel the outer hip line. You can stay right here. If you need a little more to get to that place of effort to feel the stretch, you can take the left foot out to the right, stacking as much as possible. In the case of your body, remember you can always use props here. If it's like, stacking feels good, but lowering down wasn't quite in the picture today. Again, find your balance. If you need more, you go forwards. If you need less, you go backwards. If you still need more, you can fold that bottom foot in and you can stack the knees on top of each other again. The best of your body's ability today. And you work to find the effort, find the stretch, find the amount of work that you have to do to feel it. And then find the amount of work that you don't want to do so that you can relax. If you want to add arms, it's left arm on top this time, pulling across, or backs, or fronts of hands together if you like eagle. You just want to kind of feel your shoulder blades starting to pull away from the muscles of your back. So just like the hips are starting to kind of pull open and you stretch all of those muscles out as you bend your legs into this position, you're doing the same thing with your shoulder blades on the back. Just creating lots of space back there behind you. You can even fold forward with the arms together if you want to. My body is saying, no, that doesn't feel fantastic. You should stay upright. You have to clench your jaw if you fold forward, so that's too far today. Don't do that. This right here is good. I feel effort. It's a bit of work to stay in this position. But it's also a position where I'm like, I can breathe. I know that as I stay here, it's going to become more and more comfortable as things start to open up. I can feel not just my hips and my thighs, but I could also feel the nice stretch in my shoulders. Again, you can lean back or you can use your hands on your legs to help you unwind them. And you can go back to windshield wipers or you can stretch your legs out in front of you, feet a little wider, and then wiggle the feet back and forth. Let your thigh muscles relax, do the jello. You want your thigh muscles to just glide over one another, so the more you relax them, the more gliding they can do. They kind of wobble back and forth like a pudding cup, which I don't know why I call this jello. Pudding cup sounds so much better. I'm going to start calling this the pudding cup. Also, it just sounds more tasty. Jello isn't really appetizing to me. But pudding, on the other hand, Sounds lovely. All right, if you've had enough windshield wipers or puddinging, let go. Feel that nice frisson of energy in your body. And then lift your chest. You're going to turn to face towards the short edge of your mat. And we're going to roll all the way to the floor. You can roll with hands behind the thighs or arms and potentially legs extended. Lift up as you inhale. And as you exhale, let yourself gently float to the floor. As you arrive on the mat, you'll draw the soles of your feet in so your knees are pointing towards the ceiling. Bring your hands down by your sides. Press into the palms of the hands. Relax the shoulder blades. Press into the heels of the feet. Draw the belly button towards the floor so you feel your low back pressing as much as it can towards the mat. And then lift your hips. Bridge pose. Find your balance. Maybe you like to add an arm variation. Arms could go over the head. Nice stretch for the upper back and the neck. Hands could go underneath you, opening up the chest, shoulders. If you feel quite fiery today, you keep your hands down by your side, but you could work to lift one foot for a breath and lower it. And then lift the other foot and lower it, giving yourself, again, a little more effort if you need it. If you need a little more ease, maybe you grab a prop, blanket, or a block, and you put it underneath your hips and you take this bridge pose into a restorative territory and you let the prop do the work. To me, that's one of the beauties of yoga. All of our poses are variable or adjustable to accommodate what we need on any given day. Anytime we come to the mat, our needs are different, and we can adjust our yoga to fit how our bodies and our minds are doing. Got another couple of breaths here, whether you're in a relaxed variation or you're holding an effortful variation of your bridge pose. Maybe you've done a little bit of both. That's also great. And as you're ready, you're going to bring your hips all the way down to the floor. Take a few moments here to just rest in neutral. If you like, you can take your feet a little wider and let your knees knock in towards one another. And we'll finish off with a twist. Taking the knees up, feet are a little wider than the hips. Let the knees come over to the right. And then back to the center line. Let the knees come over to the left. And then back to the center line. Slow. Windshield wipers is just ever so lightly misting. They don't need to move too fast. And the next time that the knees come over to your right side, you're going to let them stay. And if this variation of a twist feels good, you can stay there. If you like, you can take the right ankle on top of the left knee. That might feel nice. If that doesn't feel good, you can always stack the knees or adjust in any other way that feels pleasant. And here we're at the end of our practice. We're cooling down, so that balance between the effort and the ease might change a little bit. At this point, you want to be relaxed, so the ease part might take over. You might add a couple of props between or underneath the knees. Again, it's not just that each pose is perfectly 50-50, but that your whole practice is balanced. There are poses that are more effort, poses that are more ease. We did those squat holds. Those are a lot of effort. As you're ready, you can bring your knees back to the center line. You can take them over to the other side. Any variation, the open knees, the stacking of the left ankle on top of the right knee, stacking of the knees, whatever suits you today. And find incremental, detailed balance, but also overall balance. There was enough effort to make us feel that we are able to relax. We've expended enough energy to be a little fatigued. And not so much energy that once we come to Shavasana, we won't be able to get back up again. When you're ready, come back to the center line. You can hug your knees if you like in towards your chest and gently rock a little bit. If you like, you can turn the soles of your feet up for a happy baby. If there's any other pose or shape that your body would like to complete this practice, you can add that in now. And then go ahead and make your way towards a comfortable resting place for your body. Allow yourself to find where you feel the best. And it's not important if that is a traditional Shavasana lying on the floor, or if you like to lie on your side or with props, or even sit up into a seated position. You find the place that feels just right for you. breath in. Big sigh out. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Roll yourself all the way over to one side. And as you're ready, make your way to seated. Gathering your hands in front of your heart. Pressing all 10 fingertips together, heels of the hands together. Lift your chest, lift your heart to your thumbs. Reach the crown of your head tall. And we'll close here with our deep breath together. In through nose, out through mouth. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Namaste. Thank you so much for sharing your practice and your time. Have a wonderful rest of your day.